Welcome back to This Week on Staten Island. I'm Anthony Pascal. People magazine called my next guest the Saint of Staten Island. She's proof that one person really can make a difference. Since starting the Global Medical Relief Fund in 1997, Elisa Montanti has helped more than 180 injured children from all across the world get the medical help they need. Her book, I'll Stand By You, details her journey and is now being made into a movie. I'd like to welcome Elisa Montanti to the show. Thanks so much for being here. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I want to start with your story, which is known by many people, especially on Staten Island, because you are a native Staten Islander. But explain what the Global Medical Relief Fund is and what it is you do.
Okay, the Global Medical Relief Fund helps children from all over the world and within our country. Most of the children that we bring here have lost limbs due to war, natural disasters. So we reach out to the countries that have absolutely no resources whatsoever. And most of these children are, limb loss or have been burned.
And when you hear these stories and you see these children, it is just heart-wrenching. How do you become in contact with them, know that they need help, and then organize it all?
In the beginning, we were reaching out, and now we're overwhelmed. Now everyone is reaching out to us. The power of media.
Is so great.
The need is so big. It truly, truly is. And, we have the typhoons, we have tsunamis, we have war, earthquakes, and doctors, the military, when the war was going on in Iraq, many of our children, the request came from the military. So everyone is reaching out to us.
I want to show people one of the cases that you've worked on recently that we highlighted here on NY1, and it's the story of baby Andy, who's from Swaziland, and she was severely burned, and these pictures are hard to watch because of how badly disfigured this little innocent child, what she's had to go through. How is she doing? I know she's receiving treatment at Staten Island University Hospital thanks to your organization.
She's doing great, thanks to Staten Island Hospital and all the doctors. They have just been phenomenal. We have the surgeon who was Dr. Hoffman, Dr. Cooper, who had done the orthopedic, and Dr. Bonaspina. And they have just been wonderful caring for her. But it's been an outpouring of love all over the island.
What happens to children like baby Andy after she receives the treatment? Then what?
Well, she will go back to this orphanage because she's an orphan, but it is an American-based orphanage, which is wonderful, and she will come back to us like all the other children as they grow because we help them until they're 21 years old.
Is that hard for you to let them go, to see them go, and do you develop a tie to them? I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. We really truly do. We call Global Medical Relief Fund. We're truly global in the sense that we're a global family, and all the children that come to us are part of our family. They're not numbers. We know the children's dreams and desires and their family, and we can't wait for them to come back.
But there are follow-up visits.
Till 21, absolutely.
How did you get involved in this? You were born and raised on Staten Island. Now you're helping these children all around the world and having such an impact. How did you get into this?
Well, rewind 17 years ago, I was asked by a friend to write some lyrics, because music has always been my passion, to a local fundraiser on Staten Island that was being held at the Colonnade Diner. And it was to bring awareness and raise money for toys and school supplies for the children of Bosnia. And so I did, and that led me to meet the ambassador to the UN at the time. And he thanked me for my visit and wanting to help. He said, however, we have stronger needs. And he reached into his drawer and he handed me this letter that this 11-year-old boy had written to him, asking for 2 new arms and a leg. And I read the letter and I saw his picture, and it was right then and there that my life literally changed. So I recruited airlines, hospitals, prosthetic companies, and a month and a half later, he arrived at JFK, and he stayed in my townhouse with his mom, got a day bed in the living room. They lived there for 4 months, and while they were there, we bonded, and I just knew I wanted to do more.
So that was the start.
But it was NY1 that brought the awareness, because they had made me New Yorker of the Week at the time, and that brought the Shriners Children's Hospital to
And
me.
a lot of the children receive free treatment at Shriners.
All of them. The Shriners, they totally are no cost at all to the families.
And without that, you wouldn't be able to do this, right? Because you could never raise the amount of money that you need.
Never, never. never.
So the money that you do raise, what does it go towards?
The money that we raise goes towards bringing the children here, the visas, the housing, the food, the transportation back and forth to the hospitals, anything that's needed, clothing, personal things.
I really think people connect with stories. So I want to share the story of another little girl that you had brought here. Her name is little Marcia, and she's from Afghanistan, and she has a traumatic story of what happened to her.
God, Marcia, her father had just started working for the new government in Afghanistan, and he was ambushed. His car was ambushed when he had Marcy in the car and his 14-year-old son, who they fired a bullet, and he sheltered Marcy by putting her on the floor between his legs. He died, the 14-year-old son died, and the bullet went through Marcy's head. She lost her eye, and she needed surgery.
And you brought her here?
We brought her here, and LIJ actually, North Shore LIJ, and Dr. Elizabeth had done surgery on her, and she will be coming back.
On one hand, it must be so hard to see what these little kids go through with such serious injuries. But on the other hand, their lives are being made better.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. These children come being carried onto the plane, and when they go back, when they return, they're walking with their heads held high. We're restoring dignity and youth back into these children.
I wonder, because some of them are young, but some of them are a little older, do they realize the significance of what's being done, and how do you gauge that?
They do. I mean, the little ones, of course, don't, but as they come back over the years, they do, and you grow really attached,
Is that one of the hardest parts about it, to become so attached? I'm sure you go to bed
thinking
I cry a lot.
Yeah. I cry a lot when they leave, but just knowing that they will return, and that, now with the internet, and internet cafes in some of the countries, they reach out to you, so you're in touch,
I believe that we're all here we all have a purpose in this world, and some of us struggle a little bit more to find it. I can imagine that you've come to terms that this is your purpose and that you're living through it.
It is, and the Starfish Story, which I write about in the opening pages of my book, about a little girl who's walking along the shore, and there's thousands of starfish washed to the sea, out of the sea. And this man stops and says, little girl, what are you doing? You can't possibly make a difference. And he said, there's miles of beach and thousands of starfish. And as she picks up one starfish and she tosses it back, she said, I just made a difference for that one. And that's what we can all do. Whatever it is, whatever your passion is, one by one.
You talked a little bit about your book, and it's now being made into a screenplay. So talk a little bit about that, and that must be an exciting thing to be able to share your story to even more people, because I know you've been in magazines, you've been featured on 60 Minutes, you've been featured by local TV stations here, but the movie would certainly get you recognition that you haven't had before.
Oh my God, it would. Well, the screenplay is finished, and it was wonderfully written. We have a few producers very interested in it. So from my mouth to God's ears, it will become a movie.
What do you want people to know about your organization and how they can help?
Well, they could go on the website, they can volunteer, they could do little fundraisers. We have a lot of the schools involved with doing things. Just go on the website and see what we're about.
And you do this all from Staten Island?
All from Staten Island. In fact, my office is still my walk-in closet. But it really works, I speak to the world out of it. And after 60 Minutes, we were graced with a house that Tyler Perry had, the celebrity had seen after he watched it. And he and a New York corporation, MDC Partners, Miles Nadell, the two of them bought the house.
Well, you do so much great work, making such a difference in the world for all these young, innocent children. Keep up the great work.
Thank you,
and we'll continue to spread the word so that people can help you continue your mission.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time. Elisa Montanti, the founder of the Global Medical Relief Fund. And if you're interested in helping the fund, you can visit their website. It is gmrfchildren.org. Check it out. Coming up, you'll meet one man who is helping Montanti's mission, an island doctor who we are recognizing as our Staten Islander of the Week. That's when we come back. Stay with us.